SAGA Egmont presents Love and Gravity by Rebel Carter. Read by Kelly Burke. Prologue. G. Munoz. The faint strains of a melancholic fiddle sound while I stare out my window. The war is long and hard. I fear we might not make it through the winter on our current provisions, and I find the company tedious. I suffer in quiet indignation and hope you fare better. End scene. I ran the numbers again, and you were right. It would be more cost-effective to retrofit the Beta with lenses shipped from New York rather than having them made in country. I'm going to have Bindi make some arrangements and get the details to you. Lou mentioned that a position with the Geneva labs might be available soon. She asked me if I'd be interested in it, and I said yes, so we won't be stuck trading letters like antebellum lovers bent on flouting societal norms. I mean, we can't be ruined if we're willing, right? Okay, I blame you for the way I'm talking. You made me read that romance book, and let me tell you something, it was damn good. Very spicy. I got you the next one in the series. Check your email. A. P.S. If you're up for it, I want to take you to dinner when I get to Geneva. My treat, but you get to pick the spot, so think big. Grace tapped her fingers on the table and leaned back in her chair. She had just wandered in from a night out, and the warm buzz of the liquor she'd enjoyed hummed in her veins. It was a cool 3 a.m. in Geneva, which meant it was 10 p.m. or so in New York. She sighed and stretched, glancing at the timestamp on the email. 22 minutes ago. That meant if she replied, like she really wanted to, she'd most likely get a response. But should she do that after so many gin and tonics? Talking to Anton always made her feel a certain type of way. A certain type of way which was in violation of more than one workplace rule. Not her workplace rule, of course, because there were really only so many lines you could toe when you were enforcing OSHA safety standards every minute of the day. And speaking of time... Her eyes went back to the clock, and Grace winced. She should be asleep. She really, really should be trying to get some rest, not losing her ever-loving mind over an email from Anton. She looked back at his email. He wanted to go for dinner. That was harmless, right? Even if he made her feel some type of way. They were friends, yes, but they did work together, even if they'd never seen each other. For 6 months, all of their communication had been through emails and phone calls, and those phone calls had only just begun in the last few weeks. No face-to-face for them, unless you counted the one time she'd wandered into a room while he was on a pixelated video call with her boss and best friend Lou. Grace only had time to shove a bagel into Lou's mouth before her attention had been pulled away by a dust-up between the other scientists in response to a shortage of non-latex gloves. But that was all part of her gig as lab manager. Grace ran the lab as the head assistant, or lab queen as she preferred, to Luann Wright, world-renowned astrophysicist and her best friend. Their friendship had sprung from mutual need when Grace had taken up the mantle of lab assistant 3 years earlier. Once mocked for her work on the space-time continuum, Lou became lauded as a pioneer in her field and awarded a research appointment at CERN in Switzerland. She hadn't hesitated for a second in bringing Grace along for the ride. It had been a dream come true. Everything had fallen into place for Grace since coming to Geneva with Lou. Well, until Anton. He just didn't fit in with her carefully ordered world. He was her friend, but not. Her eyes dropped to the A, and she sighed, swinging back and forth in her roller chair. She shouldn't even be up right now. Replying wasn't the smartest idea, not when she knew Anton would write back, and she only had 3 hours before she needed to be up. But if she did reply, it wouldn't be the first time she'd lost sleep over chatting with Anton. Certainly it wouldn't be the last, either.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?